What is going on, everybody? It is Alex coming back at you with another video, and today we are going to be doing an Eagles 7 round of mock draft. I know I promised a mock draft with trades today, but I decided to spend some time with my family, and I hope you guys respect that. I wanted to prioritize that and then drop you guys a good mock draft tomorrow rather than having to rush it out late at night for you guys. This is just going to be a little bit more of a laid back episode. We have everything already loaded up, so you guys get to see what happens live because, we all know random shit happens when you use a random generator. But if you guys are new, would love for you guys to stick around, like, comment, subscribe. You guys know how to use YouTube. Let's get to 7,500. We are so close. It's just almost completed. So let's get right to it. And I want to take a quick look at the roster first, so we're not speaking out of our ass. If you guys are not new, then you guys kind of know how we do this. Quarterback, you got Jalen Hurts. Marcus Mariota, I think, was a waste of $5 million when I personally think that type of money should have been placed maybe towards increasing the offer of someone like Chauncey. But that's a comment that we can make when we look at those safeties. Running back wise, there's still rumors that Zeke Elliott would be coming into the fold. Kenny Gainwell, the number one dude, Rashad Benny, probably going to be coming in, playing a role. Boston Scott's just randomly there to make a play whenever. And then Trey Sermon, I don't really know what the role of Trey Sermon's going to be, but solid player, just not nearly the player I think he was taken in the third round by the Niners. So it's okay. It's an okay running back core. I definitely would want to add to it personally, but maybe not early. There's some good guys in this class that maybe I would love to add into that rotation, have a little bit more depth for more than just 1 year. But we can discuss that again when the draft comes because I have no idea what the draft is going to be. Wide receiver wise, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, obviously an elite duo of wide receivers that you have under contract for a significant period of time, which is awesome. Quez Watkins, to me, is a solid wide receiver 3. Rumors that you guys should be trading him. I personally don't think so, and I just realized my board looks a little messy, so there you guys go. But I honestly think it's pretty solid. I think you could definitely get some extra depth in there, see if you can get an understudy to A.J. Brown to get just somebody who can step in and make sure that the tread is not fully worn off the tires with him. But, this is a good damn roster. We all know it. It was obviously in the Super Bowl last year, but, lost one major piece that we'll discuss later. Tight ends, Dallas Goedert is obviously Dallas Goedert. Grant Calcaterra, pony up, SMU. Love him. He was fun to watch when he was here. And one of my favorite picks during that draft. And then, of course, you have Tyree Jackson, who is under contract till 2024. Good to see that. Tackle wise, I think Jordan Mailata is awesome. He can have some inconsistencies here and there, but when he's on point, he's one of the best left tackles. And for the fact that I think he was a 7th-round pick that from Australia, didn't even play football, it's incredible to see that you can make that transition. And it's just a sign to a lot of people, if you have the physical build, you can do what you want and you can make a big difference. And this guy literally came from not playing to a star tackle in the NFL. And that $16 million is looking pretty damn nice. Lane just got a $30 million for 1 year extension at the end of his contract. Pretty sure that just ends up making it more feasible in terms of the money for Lane to stay around. I'm not sure what the deal is with that, but Lane Johnson, also when healthy, is one of the best tackles, if not the best right tackle in the game. Guard-wise, yeah, I'm pretty sure that they're mostly listed as centers. You got Jason Kelsey, Cam Jurgens in the mix. I know he'll be moving to guard since Tuamalu is not there. There's Landon Dickerson. I was looking for him. So you have a really nice set of dudes there. Jack Driscoll, I love him as a swing player. I'm pretty sure he's out of Auburn as a tackle as well. So you have just such a good piece there. I love those players like Robert Hainsey, Jack Driscoll that can play multiple positions because, one injury happens, you don't really have to have a specific dude for every single spot. And I'll tell you, that's definitely a relief when it comes to the playoffs and you need someone to fill in. You don't have to have a huge liability because you're having your second best offensive lineman at a certain position, which is great. It's great to see that. I love Jack Driscoll for sure. Now looking at the defense from the line outwards, starting off with the D tackles, Fletch got brought back. That was probably my least favorite signing because I honestly think Jordan Davis is I think he needs to take that big step. I want to see Milton Williams and potentially Kalijah Cansey in that bigger role. Marlon Tuipulotu, I think he's a good depth player, but I just don't really want him starting. I think Marvin Wilson started a game. Not a huge fan of him personally. Defensive end wise, I know we're going to be running a 3-4. So Josh Sweat, Derek Barnett. Good thing that you guys like the value 265 plus edge defenders because they can kick inside, and also in a multiple front, they can play as a 4-3 edge as well. So it's good to see that you have that size there with these guys. BG, the fat ass himself, he's a damn good player, damn good guy to galvanize the locker room. Definitely another player who came on later in his career. I think it was like year 6 by the time that he started really turning it up. It might have been year 3. I'm tripping right now. But yeah, BG is also another guy where it's like you don't give up on players because sometimes it might not click for them for a couple years. And it's good to see that, there are big success stories like Brandon Graham, who just, again, came out of nowhere. Patrick Johnson, good depth piece, as well as Taron Jackson, which I don't even know if he's on the team, but in terms of the active, he is there. In terms of linebackers, it's a little bit thin. You got Kyron Johnson, who was an edge defender essentially and ran the 4-3s there for Kansas. Nakobe Dean, who I love to death, my linebacker 1, fell to the 3rd round because of his shoulder concerns, but I'm a little bit worried about this inside linebacker situation, and it is something where it's like, yeah, I don't think you guys have not taken a linebacker in the first, but this could be the year where you trade back out of the first to the early second and grab a dude. I personally would prefer that. We are not going to be doing trades in this mock draft, but it is what it is. Other pass rushers, Hassan Reddick, Davion Taylor, technically, I don't really trust him as a pass. He got cut, so you got Nicholas Morrow in there for a 1-year contract. I like Nicholas Morrow. Be fun to see him in that outside linebacking role. But Hassan Reddick is insanely great value. I was a huge fan of the signing, so good to see that is paid off. Safety-wise, you just brought in Terrell Edmunds today for a 1-year contract. As a Steelers fan, he was solid. Nothing special. I remember the night when I waited like 6 hours, not 6 hours, but an extensive period of time till later in the draft to see Terrell Edmunds be the one dude that my Steelers selected. I'll just tell you, I was very disappointed, and putting it very lightly and very civilized because I was irate. And yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Terrell Edmunds, but he fills a hole. It is what it is. Kayvon Wallace never really stepped into the mold he did. People love the Reed Blankenship. Solid player. Justin Evans didn't play apart from last year since I think 2018. So he was out for 3 years in Achilles. Weird to see him, but he might be coming on. But a lot of 1-year, very short-term contracts here does make me a little bit worried that something like you were just trying to do some patchwork and get some developmental dudes. In terms of corners, Slay and Bradbury brought back to 2026. Makes it very difficult to draft a corner there at 10. And then you got Avante who can play in that slot. You got Zach who, it's pretty obvious they don't really want taking that starting role. Josiah Scott who is pretty consistently right around where the ball is ending up with a big play because, he's the one who lets them up. That's okay. Josh Jobe, solid depth piece for you. It's very nice to see that he's actually able to make something of himself. Greedy Williams is one of those depth guys as well. A lot of people think he could take some starting reps. I don't know if he has the personality for it. I feel like he's just a worse personality version of Chauncey with half the talent, and that's okay. I know he plays boundary, but still. Now we are going to be going up to, I said we were going to go up to safety. We've actually looked at the entire roster. So let's get right into this. Let's have a little bit of fun here. So we're going to start the draft, and let's see what happened. Oh, Jack Smith and Jigba went high. Hot damn. So Bryce Young, CJ. Nothing is egregious here except Jackson Smith and Jigba, and I don't think he'd be much of a factor for us. But this is a very realistic situation. Jalen Carter is here. And I promise you guys, this has been a complete cut. You could scroll back to when this started. I did not plan this out. I'm glad that it came this way because I am going to be taking Jalen Carter, and I want to have a long enough discussion about this. One, we don't really have that many big issues, big holes to fill. That's why there's a lot of 1-year contracts. We're going to go BPA. But this is what I have to say. Jalen Carter, I've said a lot about his personality concerns. I'm not going to go too deep into them. In the holistic view and surface level, I think that the most room for improvement is maturity. And I think that going into a locker room with 2 of your teammates where one, you didn't really see much of the personality concerns when he was 19 years old, but you also have just in a locker room with guys like Brandon Graham, and then you also have your buddies from Georgia. I think that's a really good environment for him to get past that maturation issue. This is a spot that's one of my dream locations. The Bears, they're willing to take a shot on him. I think this is as far as he falls. I really do think that the talent is good, too good to pass on. That's why you got Fletch there for a year. Pray to God that Fletch can teach him some things, and then he could become the elite duo there. Again, I did not plan this, so it's very nice to see it. Holy shit, PFF is rocking it with the speed, but yeah, I think it's just your best return on investment. Defensive interior, getting an elite player, the number one player in the draft in terms of talent-wise is never a bad thing. Pick number 30 for Philadelphia, of course, because we're doing Philadelphia. I do think DeJuan Jones is not an awful option. That extension does concern me in terms of being able to get that. BJ Ojulari would be an amazing edge rusher in a 3-4. I have a lot of confidence in him. You guys get to see he's number 6 on my overall big board. So, yeah, big fan of BJ Ojulari. Do not think about that too in depth. You know, he has that 250 plus pound frame, extremely athletic, someone who I have a lot of faith in. But Adebawore is somebody who is even more intriguing because you can use him inside at 282. He's someone who needs more refinement, and Brandon Graham at that 200,000 pound frame would be a good guy to teach him that. 4.49 speed. It's somebody who will actually take some meaningful reps. Jalen Carter will be playing next to him, but definitely somebody who I think should be a front runner for this pick. You're not going to need many positions. That's the bottom line. Safety here, I love Sidney Brown. I think that would be a kick-ass free safety. I don't know if I want to go to the chopping block for taking Sidney Brown here. We do kind of lack some picks in here. And I love me some Sidney Brown. For y'all who don't know, he's my number 31 player. So taking him at 30, not bad value at all. If you want to take a developmental corner, I wouldn't do it in the first round. And, you know, you could look at guys like Keely Ringo in the second, who I feel are going to be exponentially better value. I know I'm going to get a freaking noose around my neck if I do go Sidney Brown. Linebacker-wise, Jack Campbell is the love of my life. You know, 6'5", he's an actual true Mike linebacker who would complement Nakobe Dean so freaking well. Like, looking at other guys you could go after, Trenton Simpson, a little bit smaller. Drew Sanders, also a little bit smaller. Like, there's not many Mikes in this draft. You can go Noah Sewell, but, man, for a Super Bowl caliber team, you want someone who's more of a commander of your team. I am going to do a one-time trade back just because I don't think the Eagles would take one in the first, but I think they'd take one in the second. And there's guys like Zay Flowers here, and I think DeJuan Jones is something that if the Steelers did not take an O-lineman, I think the Steelers would be intrigued with moving up and selecting one. So I don't care what the Steelers actually take in this. I'm just going to pray to God that they end up taking an O-lineman. It really doesn't matter as long as they don't take the dude that I want. So we're just going to do that, and the Steelers are going to chip in. I believe 120 would be approximately a good enough value for this one. A 4th round pick should be requisite. So they go Josh Downs because they're fucking morons, but, you know, it's whatever. It's for our W here. We're going to be going a linebacker here with Jack Campbell. That we haven't taken a first round linebacker in a long time, and we are continuing that streak. 6'5", 250 pounds, absolute athlete. Definitely someone you want to bring onto the team. Now, I'm curious, and I'm praying Sidney Brown was not taken, and I'm praying I don't see a golden. I'm having a nerdgasm here. Love it. Sidney Brown's gonna be my selection. I know that there's also, Keely Ringo's here. I already know it. He's not. Hallelujah. Okay, so I don't feel bad anymore. We're going Sidney Brown. Sidney Brown is gonna be that slot / free safety hybrid that I absolutely adore. And if that happens, again, you guys know, I was going to try to take him at 30. I really think he's going to have a better impact than Chauncey. I have a lot of faith in this guy. Now, this is based on Senior Bowl tape. This is not based on game tape yet. That's because it's still being released. Gotta love that. But from the tape that I have seen, absolutely locked down in man-to-man coverage, and he is a dog. So I want a dog on my team, and that's definitely the right way to go about it. Garrett Williams is probably going to be the next pick. I love Garrett Williams. It's incredible value. Jalen Jones is great as well. But I think that if you get a guy who just came off an ACL tear and give him a full year to heal, it's a way that you can spend pick 94 and really get a very good return on it. Let's look at the other positions that are available. Ew, ooh, that's nasty. Like you could get someone like a Lusagun Aluatimi to be just a nice pulling guard, Andrew Voorhees to be that future guard as well, because he's gonna be out. He just tore his ACL, so it would be definitely an Eagles move to go after him. That's such an Eagles move, especially with Kelsey potentially moving on. He's gonna need time to heal as well. Think about Jack Driscoll and his impact. I feel like Andrew Voorhees, even if he fails as a starter, will be an excellent backup. And 30 something reps on the bench press. So this guy isn't a monster. He's my number one lineman coming into the year. I'm going to show him the love that he deserves over getting a corner because, I always go that route anyway. I think that going after someone like Riley Moss or Starling Thomas could be a good route, but you got Greedy Williams for a year. You don't need to add another corner. I just don't think it's really worth it. JL Skinner's another dude who I think you can add in and, just absolutely kick some ass with. Sean Tucker, though. Pretty good value. Dwayne McBride, pretty good value. And we're seeing some very solid players here. Edge rusher for sure. You could look at one, but again, I don't think you need to. You don't need to here. Drell Shami's very good value. Very good value. Someone who I like a lot. I'll scroll down so you guys get to see a little bit more of my board. Yes, I have very unique opinions. Feel free to disagree. And, I kind of understand. But at this spot, you could get a depth wide receiver. Bryce Ford Wheaton, Xavier Hutchinson, those are guys who I believe in, but I do think that going down the board and ending up with someone like Puka Nacua, Justin Shorter, I think that's the better choice. So, let's hold off on the wide receiver route. And, man, I think the running back route is an excellent choice. Sean Tucker feels like an Eagle. It's a multi-year contract. He's a lot better than the shit you have. I'm going to be honest. I'm not saying Kenny Gainwell shit. I'm talking about behind Kenny Gainwell. I don't trust Rashad Penny, and he has a 1-year deal. He's not even healthy. And then, I just don't really trust much more than that. And Sean Tucker's an excellent player. We don't have another pick till 219. So I trust that a good wide receiver value is going to be there. Corner's not good at this pick anyway, and we already got some offensive line help. So I think that we kind of are pigeonholed into taking this route. I think Sean Tucker could be the starting back there, and he has that ferocity to him that I really do like. And I think he ran something like in the 4.3s or 4.4s at his pro day, which it's a pro day. But I still say, like, he didn't not run it, which is incredible. So at pick number 219, nice to see some Aiden O'Connell love. I hope to God I didn't misspell his name, but that's okay. I'll check the slides. I really won't. I'll just pray to God. But I think that the wide receiver route might be the best way to go here. We have 2 picks. I think Justin Shorter at that 6'4", 230-pound frame. I've used him a couple times in these, but he's one of my favorite players in the draft. I used to have him top 32 before he ran a 4.56. I think he's absolutely incredible, especially on tape. And I think the Eagles would be a great spot for him to grow and develop. We might go another wide receiver for depth here, but, other players of note, I don't really think there's any good tight ends here. Payne Durham's fun. I like Payne Durham, but I'm not going to go after a third tight end this late. I'd rather look at the edge rushers. Robert Beal is perfect. Hell yeah. So Robert Beal tested out extremely well as well. I hope that maybe, I don't know if we can click on the poor guys, which we can't, but, still an awesome player. I'm just watch your eyeballs. Watch your eyeballs. Oh, that was actually quite smooth. Nice. So I think our last pick was 248. We're going to take a quick look. 6'4", 250, and he ran in the 4.5s. Just somebody who's a really good depth piece. He can play on the outside as well. And, just being able to nab somebody who has that athleticism and that familiarity with the rest of his teammates, I think that's a kick-ass deal. So let me know what you guys think. Obviously, I know that your drafts are going to be totally different, but I really did love this. I did, and it's totally different than anything that I've done. But let me know what you think. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you on the far side. Peace.